my wife, who is an amazing violin teacher. By the way, those of you who are attentive and who have watched a lot of these may have occasionally heard some violin music happening off in the distance in these videos. Well, that's because right down below me, my wife is oftentimes teaching violin students. And she, as a professional musician that turned into a professional violin instructor, has taught me some amazing things about practicing and how to do it well. So I grew up with an old adage that says this: practice doesn't always make perfect, but to be perfect, one must always practice. And so I, who played a little bit of the cello and played piano and played a lot of basketball and ran and did a lot of things over my life that have required significant amounts of practice, abided by that. I believed I needed to practice. And then I married my wife, who has taught me that it's not just practicing. So she has a lot of students that practice half an hour, hour and a half a day, every single day, and come back the next week making the exact same mistakes they made the week before. And I sit up here and I can hear it, and I can tell who is practicing well. I can tell who doesn't practice at all, and I can tell who's practicing well. My wife has taught me this concept of purposeful practice. And what she has taught me is this concept of muscle memory. Now, I knew about this before, but basically what muscle memory is, that you're training your muscles to do exactly the right, do things in an exact certain way. And the challenge is this: it's not actually your muscles, it's your brain. So you're training these little synapses that go through your brain to do things in a certain order, in a certain way. And here's the problem. If you practice incorrectly, in other words, if you practice your mistakes, what you do is you hardwire those mental processes. And so you basically do this. Practicing your mistakes just makes them permanent. You take your mistakes and turn them into hardened cement in your brain and your body. So what we need to do is that we need to figure out the things we're doing wrong, fix them. And by the way, I'm going to get to your business in just 1 second here. I'm sure you're already seeing it right now. You need to find the things that you're doing, fix them so that you practice them correct, so that you train your brain, so that you train your body to always be doing it correctly, so that you put perfection into cement as opposed to mistakes into cement. So what this takes is reviewing, looking for mistakes. And I know that's sometimes the hardest thing to do, especially something like video or audio. You need to actually critically review your own work and say, hey, what should I be doing better? What can I fix? What should I fix? And so then you work on those, and also looking for potential improvements in that process. And by the way, it really helps in this process to have outside eyes, because oftentimes we've practiced it so many times, we think that's right. And it's really remarkable how many times I'll hear a student come in and they'll play something and it's clearly wrong. I mean, I've been hearing it for 35 years. I know that song. I know that that's supposed to be a sharp, and they're not playing it as a sharp. It's clearly wrong, but they played it so many times. They think that's the right way. And so these outside eyes, in this case, my wife, corrects that issue for them. It really helps to have coaching, a teacher, somebody who can help you fix your problems, identify, and then fix them. So then it becomes purposeful repetition. Now, let's take the analogy that I'm sure you've been seeing all the way through this. We have many things that we do in our lives and our businesses that involve practice. So, for example, creating video. Your video is going to be horrid the first several times you do it. And the only way you can get good at video is to do it over and over and over again. There is one small thing in there. It is possible to take little cuts of the places where you got lucky and edit all of them into one big video, but that costs thousands of dollars and thousands of hours to pull that off. So why not just get good instead? And actually working on improving, on turning perfect into muscle memory. So you just do it right every time. And one way that we do this in our business is by creating systems and procedures. Because one of the other things that happens is different than playing a violin. If you're going to play the same piece over and over again, and there's a certain way it's supposed to be done that's correct, we don't oftentimes do that a lot of things. So we may create an ad, a new ad once a day. Well, or once a week, or once a month, or whatever it is. If you don't create the systems and procedures that says this is what a good ad is versus a bad ad, then you'll never get any good. So there's your core. We need to be purposefully practicing the right way so that we turn the right way into muscle memory as opposed to turning mistakes and problems into muscle memory. We need to have a coach, an outside person who is watching and helping us to get there correctly. And we need to consistently be reviewing and analyzing our own work so that we're constantly getting better in the process. Purposeful practice. There's your secret. What's been your experience with this? Have you ever practiced mistakes? I have. Let me know in the comments. This is Don Crowther saying, just go do this stuff.